ink spots. Take out the garbage.
Hey everybody, this is Ink Spots. Welcome to Painting is Rad, episode 4. Before we get started, let's have a quick review of the paint that I use. I like to use the Georgian oil, which is the student grade, and also the Cobra water mixable oils because I use no solvents and it makes it easier to clean up. These cheaper brands of paint will work just fine. You can buy them online. You get a lot of paint for little money. The problem is they do have a heavy oil content because there is less pigment, more oil. So to get rid of that runny texture, what I like to do is go ahead and squeeze the oil paint out on a piece of paper. It can be newspaper, it can be copy paper, it doesn't matter. That piece of paper, if you let it sit out for a couple of hours, will absorb the excess oil. Now, as you can see here, I'm adding talcum powder, just regular old talcum powder, because I'm impatient and I want to get my paint texture very fast. I don't want to wait 2 hours. Sometimes I will add some unscented talcum powder to get the correct consistency. Just make sure that when you do this, that you go ahead and mix it in very well. See the oil there that has been absorbed in the paper. Then you just scrape that and put it on your palette. Now, no matter what brand of paint you use, I do recommend that you make yourself a swatch chart. I happen to use a split complementary palette, so I have 2 of every primary, a warm and a cold. And I recommend making your swatch chart whenever you're trying to add an additional color to your palette or whenever you change brands. It's always useful information to know what your paint is going to do when you mix it. And sometimes you're going to get results that you're not expecting. So I go ahead and I swatch out a chart every time. Using my warm and cold versions of each color, and I go ahead and I note the color mixtures on that chart. That way when I go to mix and match colors, I know which direction I can go to based on the experience I had from making that color chart. I also always work on a paper that I'm going to use for the painting. That way you can also feel how the paint works with the texture of that particular paper, and different paints will look different when they absorb on different surfaces. So as you can see, I have my warm and cool versions of blue and red. I believe it's a cobalt and a cerulean and a pyrrole red and Alzerian crimson. So you're going to get different types of purples and oranges when you mix your secondary colors with the warm and cool versions. And those come in handy for different situations while you're painting. I do always mix my secondary colors when I lay out my palette. That way I already have my purple and my oranges and my green already set out and ready to go. So that I can get the colors that I want fast. And also, I don't use shortcut colors because I find that you get a much better color harmony if you go ahead and mix your secondary colors out of the primaries. Then you just have a little bit of those same colors in every color you use, and it just gives you a way better result than if you're mixing in the secondary colors with a shortcut color, which what I mean by that is a separate tube of purple or orange. So this is the way that I like to do it. Now I'm going to show you how to match existing colors if you need to get them. I've already started to do a comic book, and I need to match the colors of the characters. So first thing I do is I try to find out which hue I need to use, whether it's going to be my warm or my cool. As you can see there, I put some of that color on the palette knife and I held it up to the existing picture to try and see where to start. what I decided there is that that starting color was too saturated. So when a color is too saturated, you can use its opposite on the color wheel to go ahead and mix it and get a less vibrant color to knock the saturation down. So I added some orange there. Now I decided that that color is too dark, so I just mix in some white with it. I also have Naples yellow on my palette. Uh, and so I have two lightning agents. Uh, Usually with blue, I do go with the white because a grayed out blue is actually warmer than if I add in the Naples yellow, which would change it more towards like a greenish color. So it looks like again I added in some more orange to kind of knock the saturation back. And I'm just mixing it up because I want to make sure that I've got it incorporated very well. Also what I'm doing is I have a scrap piece of paper there that is the exact same paper that I'm using for the painting I'll be doing for the comic book page of Froggy 2 the Cerberus Key. And I put that paint on that piece of paper because it's the same that I'm using, and I want to make sure that they match up well. Then I can just hover that little scrap piece of paper over the image that I'm trying to match and see how close I'm getting and what I need to do. Looks like I decided that it still needs to be lighter, so I'm trying to get that mid-tone is the first color I mix up. So I'll mix the mid-tone first, get that match, then I'll match the shadow color and the light color, and then once I paint all those in, going dark to light, I will then come in at the end with a highlight. So again, I'm taking that piece of paper, putting a little swatch down, and trying to match it up to the existing mid-tone in the page that I've already finished. Looks like I got that. Now I just put that on my palette and I'm ready to paint. I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. You guys have a great day.